So many people use your name in vain.
About time I end a discussion, niggas be bugging hood ornament. Gift and a curse, road to success, gotta learn from it. The city watching, highlight top 10, Hall of Fame ain't an option. Mailman finished more plays for me than he did Stockton, nigga. Only nigga competing, posting my mirror and anything else to smear. But a little white make it clearer, you gotta catch it. Pay my due diligence for this shit, you gotta respect it. You can run this shit by any nigga you got on the checklist. Problem is less about rapping, who making the guest list, shit is unimpressive. Circle a nigga and now he cornered the realer things, I'm conforming to masses. Other words, not giving niggas no passes. Not a handshake, I damn near spit in his face. He tryna stop the pace, it's all in due time. And all in the sake of graping. Feeling like I'm late, but same time feeling like I've been great. I hope you take this shit in vain, nigga. Yeah. I hope you take this shit in vain, nigga. Yeah. All this pain, pressure pumping through my veins. I hope you take this shit in vain, nigga. Yeah. I hope you take this shit in vain, nigga. Yeah, look. All this pain, pressure pumping, look. Right back to it, I'm running amok. I'm running for bucks, running in front. They running from fronts. Reason I'm running all out of trust. The lenses, straight from Africa, temple was made from touch. Think he flock with the birds, head tap, tell a goose from a duck is science. My psychology, deep belief, I'm a giant. Until they rules, I'm defiant. Cause to my dream, they was blinded and deaf to it. Success made it definite, like the heavens give toe to toe with the specialists. Make his losses so evident. Man. Look, sick with the pen, I live in coronavirus, I spread through the culture. Never really set a good example, but E gonna coach ya. Household name, E-ring like drinks in the coaster. Who you know bolder, shit, he made it, I gotta get colder. Smack his face, wake him up, a fist full of Folgers. Couldn't fit my shoes, niggas loafers. And since I'm getting shit up off my shoulders, hope you take this shit in vain, nigga. Yeah. I hope you take this shit in vain, nigga. Yeah. All this pain, pressure pumping through my veins. I hope you take this shit in vain, nigga. Yeah. I hope you take this shit in vain, nigga. Yeah. All this pain, pressure pumping through my veins. I hope you take this shit in vain.
What's the deal, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of The Red Room. Today I'm joined by Carson, California's finest, Eban Jackson.
My boy.
How you doing,
What's
bro?
happening, man? Carson is in the building. The Grace is in the building.
Yeah, we got greatness in the building today. You know what I mean?
Man, just like that. You feel what I'm saying?
Let's talk about that. GOE, greatness over everything. That's the brand. What does greatness over everything mean to you?
Greatness over everything is a daily affirmation. And by that, what I mean is you know, literally it's something that you got to embody every day. You got to be great every day. And that's just really being 1% better. You know, we all have our slip-ups, we all have our downs, but we also have a lot of ups. And I feel like, you know, like we don't always like pat ourselves on the back like we need to, you know. So just being 1% better every day and, you know, just trying to be our best self. That's what greatness means to me.
You are an artist that has a very defined voice, a very defined message. Was there a moment or a specific time in your life where you decided, okay, I'm gonna make this a career? Like, it's not just a hobby. I'm gonna do this as a career.
I felt like I had different flashes. So at first I was pretty much playing football, you know, pretty much straight athlete. But even in the process of me being in college and doing that, I was still recording. I was still making music. Literally, I made my first ever track. That was 2015 on my boy's laptop on GarageBand. And kind of after I did that, we actually recorded the song, shot the video, put it out on YouTube. I think we did that like 3 or 4 times, couple songs. And really after that, I was kind of like, okay, like this could be something. And just kind of over time, just, you know, putting myself in a situation and finding myself being surrounded by people who, you know, are you know, doing it in some form, way, shape, or fashion. Ended up running into some, you know, real good producers at the time. They kind of walked me in. My other boy Dre, he was also rapping as well too. So that was kind of like the first kind of group that I kind of, you know, fell into. And then, like I said, Dre. Man, shout out to Dre, shout out OZ, man. That's my guy. He don't even rap no more, but you know, his immediate contribution when I first got in, like, really kind of catapulted me into that. And like I say, just being in different rooms and just kind of, you know, expanding myself, expanding my you know, vocabulary, expanding my skill. You know, and it just seems like no matter how much football I was playing, I would always come back and make sure I was doing some music. So it was it's almost like practice, essentially. Like I'm practicing and practicing, and I'm starting to do shows and different stuff like that. So
You gotta go practice after the practice.
you feel what I'm saying? So it was just one of those things, bro, where it kind of never really felt like a hobby, but it felt like I couldn't really put my all into it because of like other commitments. But once I finally got the time to really like lock in and say like, all right, bet, like I'm gonna really take this music shit serious. That's when it happened, and that was maybe a couple of years later, right when I got out of college. I was I had the time at that point, so that's when I went full fledged.
What position did you play?
Quarterback. I should have asked you. I should have told you to guess. That's what I should have did.
I was gonna say, I was thinking maybe like a receiver,
It's
almost
crazy.
like a wideout.
I'm not gonna lie. This is the biggest that I've been in my life. Like I was so much smarter than this. Like you probably would have been like, okay, you probably were a quarterback or something like that. But yeah, no, I'm play QB.
That's crazy, a quarterback. So do you like that responsibility of you're leading these people, or do you like that responsibility of I'm gonna control what's gonna happen?
I like the ability to get people to the best of their ability. I feel like that's the best leadership quality that you can have. That's really why I like playing quarterback, and just being able to, like you said, kind of control the outcome a little bit, and kind of take your opportunities, kind of grasp, take them by the horns, yourself, because you're the one making the decisions at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it works hand in hand, and it kind of all is a nice little melting pot of where it's at now.
Yeah, because I was not thinking that. I'm like, all right, that's how I know you're a good leader, because I was not thinking, oh, yeah, I got to make everyone else better. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I respect that.
Appreciate that.
Your work, your lyrics often touch on ambition and leveling up, getting this money, and just improving yourself in general. And from our conversations, I think that's something that you live by. What does success mean to you now, and how would you define success?
I would define success very parallel to progression, because you can call success like getting to the finish line, and like, okay, like I made this goal, I accomplished this goal, that is that the bar that you're going to set for just your success, because there's always going to be more, you know what I'm saying? So
right.
I feel like as long as you're progressing and you're reaching goals and you're giving yourself milestones and you're giving yourself stages, or I'm saying, even if you want to just call it goals, or little things and such like that, as long as you're able to continue to pass that and give yourself more and more and more to go, and you don't get complacent, I feel like that's that's a key to success, and that's a piece of success. And there are a lot of different pieces that kind of like go to a contingent on your life and what you want for your life, because everybody wants different. Do
you think that for you personally, that what you define as success has changed since you started your journey in music?
Absolutely. It took me a long time to get here too, as well. Because again, you're used to the culture at a point. You're kind of used to seeing what you feel like looks like success, and that's why I say like it's all contingent on what your view of it is. Is it you being out at the club, with everybody there, or is it you, selling out your concerts, or having this many people in your crowd, or is it you making this amount of money, and just being satisfied with the fans that you have, but at the same time you making money, because at the end of the day, that's what the music is about. It's a product, so are you really selling your product? So where I'm at now, I definitely would say is more of a business standpoint, and really looking at it from a professional aspect versus just the artist. And like I said, with me having my independent label and, really pushing it, I have to wear both hats. I have to be the CEO on one day. I have to be the artist on another day, or even both on the same day, and being able to, diversify the two and do them at the best of my ability. So, with all of that being said, like literally, like I said, I was an artist for such a long time, to where it was like, okay, let me take a step back, and if I'm really gonna do this, let me look at this from, the CEO standpoint of, okay, like how am I gonna put my artist in the best situation, in the best place possible for him to make us money, essentially. And it works best when you got to do that to yourself. You're just looking in the mirror and somebody else not doing it for you, for real.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree, and especially in 2026, like as an independent artist, you have to wear multiple hats. Like how you're saying, you have to play different roles, or at least be involved in those different roles to make sure that it follows with your intention and with your message that you want to push as an artist. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but with wearing multiple different hats and with advancing more within your music career, like any type of industry, there's highs and there's lows. So there's times where a song will pop off. There's times where maybe the creativity isn't there. What is something that keeps you motivated, keeps you going when you're going into one of those lows?
Okay. So I'll tell you about a prime example. And we were kind of touching on it a little bit in there. So in 2021, I did a feature with RJ, Mr. LA, and the single was fire, video was fire. We did at least, like, I want to say we did like 5K in like the first week or something like that. No promotion. RJ hadn't even came back out to do no music yet.
That's pretty major.
You feel what I'm saying? And we did pretty solid with the record, but again, that business mind, I didn't really have that then. So we kind of just rode the single, and then we fell off. And then from there, it was like, okay, what am I going to do next? And then from there, life happens, and it's crazy as an independent artist, like, we don't have that, okay, like, let me go holler at the label and let them know what's going on. It's like, okay, bet, like, hey, you got to figure this out, because if you want to do this, you got to, make some changes, make some adjustments and different things like that. Mm-hmm. And I had some great people in my life in that time, around like the 2023, 2024 time, where, I was kind of really getting everything kind of back on track and trying to figure everything out. And then that's when I got into the personal training, like I told you, and that kind of gave me a new sense in life and gave me a new kind of direction and a new, kind of new sense of hope, essentially. And then from there, just literally like, okay, like, let me figure out how I can make this better. So I feel like at the end of the day, it's just you knowing at the end of the day, you can't quit. And you have to find a way to make it work, or it's just not going to happen. Nobody's going to wait for you, or nobody's going to come and wake you up and be like, hey, like, I want you to rap, like, keep on going, and it is good to have, good motivational, people, in your corner. I had, relatives, friends, my brother, he's my manager, he's like, oh, hey, bro, when we dropping some new music, when the music, whoop, whoop, as I'm recording, like I said, I'm putting up shots, I'm recording at the house, I'm just, catching little small glimpses of motivation and influence, and, I'm sending them the tracks and everything, and they're like, all right, well, when you gonna drop? And, like I say, just that small bit of anticipation gives you hope as well, too. So, surrounding yourself with good people, like I say, motivating yourself and knowing that you want to reach your goals and knowing that that's something that you really want to do. Those are the two biggest things that I feel like, really get you, and kept me from those, those down spots and really just staying there.
You brought up a lot of amazing stuff right now, but yeah, I agree. Like, it's important to have those people around you that, can lift you up and get you excited to drop music and do all that. You brought up the features with RJ, and I wanted to kind of bring up one of your recent singles, Primetime, featuring Duke 562, and then your most recent single, Better Things, with One Take Ocho. Mm-hmm. And then you have the features with RJ. I saw you had a feature with One Take J, and you kind of have collabs in all of your projects. How do you approach a song with a feature differently than you would approach a song that's solo?
No, not necessarily. And it's funny because, all of those people that you name outside of RJ, I actually have a cool relationship with, like, literally through sports, actually literally through football. So like, those are my guys, at the end of the day. And, really shout out to them, taking the time out to, give me those features and everything as well. But they're really just ideas that I kind of had. And, I'm one of those creatives where, I'll make something for myself and then I'll kind of like hear it and kind of sit with it for a while. And then I'm like, all right, bet, like, is this the best that we can make this track right here? Like, has this reached its highest capability? And then sometimes I'm hearing stuff, or like, I'll do something on a track, like sing or something like that, kind of, trying some stuff. And I'll be like, nah, I can't do this. Let me figure out who can.
Last year, you dropped 2 projects, Chasing Championships and Richer Than Before. And then I've been seeing that you've been doing some freestyles online recently. Is writing something that you do every day, or how often are you writing songs?
I write when I'm inspired. I feel like it's one of those things, like, you gotta give the music, you gotta let the music be organic. You can't just like force good music. So I just kind of, whenever I'm feeling it, I'm not gonna lie. As of late, I've been feeling it. I've really been feeling it lately. We've been recording nonstop. The beats have actually.
We could
been
tell, bro. We could tell. That shit is good.
Hey, I
The
appreciate it.
freestyle, I was telling him earlier, I was like, yo, bro, so these are the throwaways? Like,
And then,
what?
and it's funny because you be trying to hold on to certain stuff, but that was one thing that I had bad as well too, like holding on to stuff to like kind of make it, like, oh, I want this to be perfect, or I need this to be rolled out perfectly, or I need a video for this, or I need this or whatever, and I'm just like nah, like get the people the music, like just give it to them, and that's kind of like where those freestyles came from, and linked up with EJ and Black Collar for that Chasing Championships project, and that was dope. We actually been performing together for a while, did a couple shows together with a live band, so that live feel is a different aspect as well too, and he brings that right into the beats as well too. So it was bread and butter essentially, and the Richer Than Before, that drop before that, top of the year, that was again me like, okay, bet, like I got tracks, like I have tracks that I need to let go, and I was like, what, it's time, like let's go ahead and start this thing, and we let that go top of the year, and we was like, all right, bet, like now we're not gonna go no more, no, like we talked about my boy Triz, and how he was saying he drop a project every year, like we was like, all right, look, we're not going no more years without not dropping nothing, like we went too long without that, like not just a single, not two singles, not just a video, not just a couple shows or whatever the case is, like nah, like get the people some work. So that's what we're looking forward to doing for sure.
What I liked about those projects is that, like, if you go through them, they have different feels. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but Richer Than Before has a more aggressive, like, talking shit type of feel. Chasing Championships is more of a, like a hustler, putting in that work type of feel. When you go about creating projects, is that something that you have in mind? Do you have an intention for the overall project as a whole, or is it more so just putting songs together and seeing what feels right?
It's a little bit of both, honestly. Like we kind of talked about before, I like to give myself a selection, and essentially, as we're creating and as we're making songs and as we're collecting, our pick list, essentially what we call it, we're able to kind of, feel that vibe and kind of generate, that kind of feel that we're going for, as we're creating. And, like I say, it's an organic process. And that's really what I pride myself and my team on is, everybody is literally working together to make a genuine piece of art. And I feel like that's what makes it, so it makes it more appreciated, from the fans and everything.
You seem to have a good system around you. Are there any specific instances or, any examples you could give me of, a weight that your team has lifted off your shoulders?
Yeah, shoot, my brother, off the rip, just all of the communication that goes into coordinating things like, we've been, hollering at, we do got a feature that's going to be on the project. I'm not going to spill no names.
Okay.
But, like just coordinating that, and like I say, making it easy on me where I can walk into the room and be the artist. The CEO is like, hey, I need you to contact these people. I need you to coordinate this, whatever, boom. He goes ahead and does it as a manager, and then the artist will be able to walk in like, hey, bet, now I can, do my raps, do my thing, do my recording, all of that, boom, and now we back out. So he's done a huge thing in that. Another one of my boys, he's my social media marketer. So just coming up with our strategy in our rollout that we're about to, present. Another thing that, kind of I can run ideas by somebody else, and I'm not just like, again, banging my head against the wall thinking like, all right, is this going to be the best thing that I'm gonna do, and kind of regurgitating the same thing essentially. And at the end of the day, man, it's like I say, it's all I can go on and on, but they definitely have all contributed, very, very helpfully, to this process, and I can't do nothing but thank them.
Yeah, that's dope, man. That's a beautiful thing, man. Like a lot of people, I know a lot of independent artists that I see them banging their head against the wall and they don't got no one to help them or stop them. So it's like, it's great that you have that. And I think it's reflecting in your work, and I know the audience is going to see that too. Let's talk a little bit about the GOE training. Can you explain a little bit to the people about that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So like I said, in that process of me, kind of rebranding, figuring everything out. I got into personal training, and that's been a huge, boost, like I say, just in my life in general, and, just being able to give that back to the people. And that's another thing that I feel like is a huge pillar of greatness over everything is, giving back to the people and being able to, put people in the best situation for themselves, and that's being healthy, at the end of the day. So been doing that now for, now we going on officially about 2 years, 3 years now, officially training. But me working out personally, that kind of, like I say, kind of shifted me into that as well. So I'm training out in Long Beach. So, if anybody, wants to tap in, you can definitely holler at me on my Instagram, GOE Training. And yeah, man, I definitely think that it's one of those things that everybody needs to, take some kind of consideration at some point in their life. You're either gonna do it by yourself or your doctor gonna tell you to do it. So this is more than just, you coming in the gym. And, now, like I say, everything is so trendy now, so you see everybody in the gym and everybody trying to do the thing. And, kudos to everybody. I feel like that gives a lot of different people motivation, seeing other people that are like them, going in and, kind of, attacking it. I just want people to be more intentional with what they're doing. And, if you're not sure, it's okay to ask for help. And, it's okay to, reach out to people that, are able to, give you the right information and really give you the right steps, because it's a lot of misinformation out there as well, too. And you don't want to be in a situation where, you're getting discouraged because you're not seeing results because you've been following the TikToker who told you that this worked for them, but they don't necessarily know what they're talking about.
All right. Well, you mentioned this a little bit earlier, but you got new music. I know you're constantly working on music. What can the people expect?
My biggest thing right now is community, and just trying to get as many people around and as many people involved in just being great. And really just being in a space where, they're motivated to be their best self, just like I am on a daily basis.
Is there anything else you want to tell the people out there?
Man, be great, man. Whatever you do, chase it to the best of your ability, to the greatest of your ability, and don't let nobody stop you. If anybody tell you that you can't, tell them you can, and do it in their face. That's all I got to say.
All right, y'all. Well, y'all heard it here. Thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of The Red Room. Thank you to my boy.
Yeah, appreciate you for having me.
Go check out the merch, GOE out now. And yeah, tap in for the next video.